Hello everyone, it's me again, Penguin21, and today, well, I'm going to start off with the news and stuff that happened last week, but then we're going to get into the actual main point of this video. So, what happened last week? Well, a couple of things. One, Palworld is still breaking the internet. I am not talking about Harmon Smith in this one. Number one, of course, we have that they now have the official numbers of 19 million. It is 7 million on Xbox with 12 million on PC. As reported by Palworld themselves, with Noir basically saying that, I thought that no one actually played on the Xbox, and that we were apparently lied to. What a shock. Surprised Pikachu face. I probably shouldn't say that because that'll offend everyone within a 10-block radius that likes Nintendo. Next up, of course, we have the Kill the Justice League. I'm gonna call it Kill the Justice League just to not confuse people and also to avoid certain things. But to Kill the Justice League released last week a live service game that a lot of people have called garbage, including one person called the Different Nerd, who basically, said that if you just are broke, don't buy it, and after poor shaming literally everyone, got ratioed by me, of all people. Yes, this is my official actual tweet, and it's actually gone up in the recent times because I usually record these videos, so that number is actually higher, or at least the likes and retweets. Or you can see the marketing, you can see the reviews, you can make an informed decision, and don't put your money to this. Trying to say you can't critique something you can clearly see as a bad game is enough for me to say, no thank you, you don't deserve my money, and this game is bad in my opinion. Which, again, is very, very true. But again, like I said at the top of this video, this is more about the state of play that happened. So again, a little bit quick shilling before we get to the video proper. 1K subscribers, please like and subscribe and stuff. That actually really helps me a lot. My music is still coming out. Links in the description down below. You're going to probably hear that for the next month. That's really all I have to say. So let's get into some of the state of play. But first, a quick check up on the new Bloodborne community. How we all doing, folks? There is no news? Great! Back to our regularly scheduled program. So, one of the biggest things here that we're going to take a look at probably at the beginning of this video is from, of course, Salt Hunter, as well as this clip of Lucas has been passed around. Mainly that this whole thing where Lucas basically just got super excited for this game and then immediately just decided to have a mental breakdown. That video clip is like 2 minutes, but we're going to take a look at a couple quick little bits here with this. So let's get started.
Are we fucking serious right now? I think Xbox has invaded PlayStation and has fucked the heads in their head, bro. That's what I think. I think all the Xbox people have invaded PlayStation and have fucked the creativity out of Sony.
Because they had a lot of creativity making the exact same game every single time with no real recourse and no real critique. I mean, they got a 96 on a remaster of like a 3-year-old game. That's totally very much creative.
They have fucked the creativity out of Sony. They're like, hey, we got a new fire that we want to create. We want to put out this. They're like, fuck them. Fuck the creativity out of them. Fuck the creativity out of them. That's Stranding 2. What happened? What happened? Our work here is done. Bro, do you all remember South Park where he's like, I'm going to fuck them to death? I'm going to fuck the terrorists to death. That is what they're doing.
Okay, yeah, and we don't need to make any more of that actual clip because he goes on for quite some time, and we don't need to do it anymore. I might make a dedicated video because the Salt Hunter basically just hit an entire, tweet thread of Lucas just going insane, as well as Cyborg doing his thing and quoting Reforged and stuff as well. So yeah, those people out there doing their own thing. But that to me doesn't make much sense because, how is the biggest question that I have. How do you have an actual point where they didn't make these decisions completely on their own? I mean, they're the same people that basically decided, hey, let's bump up the price of our consoles mid-generation refresh. Let's just decide to charge $70 for games. Charge $10 for upgrades to the newest system for backwards compatibility. Let's just increase the price by 40% of our online subscription services that we also copied from Microsoft, even though Microsoft does it better. Anyway, so we're getting into some of these other tweets here. We have Hyped, of course, saying, Xbox gets experimental trash while PlayStation gets blockbuster Death Stranding 2 and a new action espionage IP. Thanks, Kojima-san. You don't think that Kojima probably would have released it on multiple platforms if he could? I'm fairly certain that Sony came by with a stack of cash and was like, here, make it for us. At least for Death Stranding 2, I understand, because they technically speaking own the IP and have published it everywhere. So I don't think that Kojima can technically get out of the publishing contract because he might have signed that for a couple of years. Considering that Sony has also loosened their grip enough to have Death Stranding apparently on the Xbox Game Pass and not on Xbox proper, kind of makes me think that Kojima really wanted this game to be on everything. At least in terms of how this thing works, but was stuck under a contract via Sony. You can't really say anything publicly, but that's my tinfoil hat theory, and I am very, 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 very open to be wrong here. Next up, of course, we got Nick Cola also shilling for Death Stranding 2, saying Sony secured the best Kojima games. I mean, again, considering what I said before, do I need to make an argument for this? I'm fairly certain Kojima would have wanted this to be on multiple platforms. It'd also be really funny if this thing released day and date on PC as well, because Helldivers 2, some of the other stuff that they showed off, I think that they showed off Helldivers 2 because it supposedly was in there. Again, I didn't see it because I was too busy playing Palworld. But if they showed off Helldivers 2 and people are saying, like, oh, it's an exclusive, it's a console exclusive, not really, because a console exclusive entitles that it's exclusive to that console. And, you know, Helldivers 2 also releases day and date on PC. So, yeah. More shilling for Death Stranding 2 here by good old Nicola with Death Stranding 2 and Decima Engine. I have no idea how to pronounce that, abandons the PS4 for the first time, and it absolutely shows nothing close, nothing comes close, nothing. Now, I wanted to point this out because, as well as people talking about this, they were also talking about how Unleashed here then says, sorry, Xbox, nothing on Xbox touches Death Stranding 2 graphically. I know the truth hurts, but you just gotta deal with it. With John Linnerman, he's on Blue Sky? Weird. Basically saying that Death Stranding 2 looks better than any of the games, which in specific screenshots, probably, yeah, it looks pretty good, but he also then admitted that Hellblade 2 also comes close to it, and people were also convinced and talking about Hellblade 2 versus other games. For example, J117 was comparing Hellblade 2 to, I believe that's Stellar Blade, where Hellblade 2 looks all grungy and dirty, with PlayStation's Stellar Blade looking kind of clean, actually. Honestly, like, that anime style, it can work, and it's very Final Fantasy-esque, and I kind of like it. But Hellblade 2 definitely looks more gritty and realistic. Then they were also comparing this from the Xbox ABK, Mr. Man's here saying, special invitation to ponies, feel free to cry this post, with the Hellblade 2 again versus Death Stranding 2, with, again, these look different stylistically wise, but graphically they look about the same in my opinion. I think Hellblade 2 is a little bit more, but like not by a huge margin, and that comes up to more down to personal preference in terms of art style from what I would consider this being. Of course, then we have more people shilling about John Letterman here, which, again, I'm still surprised that he is on Blue Sky. Very weird. Where he says, Ninja says, bots out here attacking John Letterman because he thinks Death Stranding 2 looks a lot better than Hellblade 2, where this dude called Blade basically goes into it with it. I cut off the screenshot here because I wanted to get the full context of the tweet. And yeah. Next up, of course, we have the Ed tweet, which I know this one's most likely going to be memed a lot because he says, that was a W state of play, give it a solid 8. Okay. Still no word from Sony's first party, but I can't complain because we're still eating good. I thought that you only really cared about the exclusives and that you should, only buy PlayStation consoles for the exclusives and nothing else. Oh, you care about video games now because... Well, I mean, you don't really seem to have many first-party games coming out this year. I mean, the Spider-Man 2 looks like it was the last good first-party game to come out, and even then, that's kind of subjective. But that more or less has been confirmed to come out to PC eventually. With, actually, an interesting thing in Notion here, which I don't think we saw at the State of Play, is that Horizon Forbidden West and all the DLC is apparently, according to at least some confirmed rumors and some data mining and stuff. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It may or may not happen. But Horizon Forbidden West and all the DLC is coming to Steam, apparently. And also is going to be officially released coming March 21st. Again, I don't want to give specific dates, which is why I'm putting a question mark there, because if it doesn't, then I'm just saying what other people have said. Don't shoot the messenger, please. So, yeah. Moving right along to over Japan Hates Xbox, because of course we have to talk about Japan Hates Xbox every time. Where he then says, Phil Spencer is pulling his hair out right now. Xbox gets an experimental multi-plat cloud flop indie game, while PlayStation gets the masterclass Death Stranding, and now the spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid fully exclusive. Good job, at Herman Holst. We are first class. I can't wait until he cries over the fact that this is probably going to get ported to the PC. I would love it so much when that happens. I don't know if it will, because apparently they might or might not do that. Again, I can't really tell. I can't predict the future. I'm not a fucking mind reader or horse whisperer. But at the same time, if and most likely when it does come, because again, the previous Death Stranding did absolute banging numbers, that sounds really cool. And also I think did banging numbers on Xbox Game Pass, but, we won't hear him talking about that. I guess he'll just be whatever. Next up, of course, we got King Thrash, Mr. S-Class Gamer himself, saying that was a good show, true next-gen as predicted with major surprises. Let's hope the competition brings it this year. Nintendo up next will fill the gaps that Xbox leaves behind. Again, they didn't show any first-party games. I thought that you guys were all about the first-party games type stuff. Very, very odd. Very odd. I think we'll end it off with the good old MBG, because I found this one very recently, and I just decided, hey, I think it'd be cool to talk about. So MBG says that was honestly the best state of play Sony ever had. A phenomenal start to 2024. We hadn't even seen their first-party studios are working on that. Really enjoyed it. Again, you are touting third-party games that, in some of these cases, actually have day one releases on PC as well. This is one of those phases where I believe that they're just going through the denial phase. I think Xbox itself went through the denial phase last generation, where the Xbox One was very bad. The Xbox guys basically cried and complained, denying everything, and there still probably might be some people in denial. But they then did some bargaining, and then eventually they just accepted that, yeah, this is probably going to be the industry moving forward, and we're seeing the same thing happen with PlayStation guys. Or at least I hope so. And eventually, the salt will be something different, and I can talk about maybe something else here. Like, for example, the whole thing with Blue Drake and the people who made the game that stole their assets. Again, I've been wanting to talk about that for weeks. I just haven't had time to do that. I'm sorry, alright? I should make an update video. I've made one, I've recorded one, but at the end of the day, I can't get it out because there's too much news happening. So, yeah. In any case, I'll probably release that Thursday because I have the script written, and I should do that while it's still fresh in the mind. It might not do better than some of my other videos, but yeah. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for this video. Like I said before, if you liked what it is that I do and want to support me in any way, shape, or form, links down to all of the socials in the description below. I stream on Twitch mostly every weekend, doing Twitch live streams, not for gaming, but I do it for music. Speaking of music, I have made music, and it's all available on the Bandcamp. I will be probably releasing a single that I made sometime in March, because that's just time that I want to do it, and it's a very special track to me about various things. Not many people will get it, and I wanted to work on a music video for it, so that might take up a bit of my time. I might end up just not, because anyway, and anything else that you would want to do, again, I do also try to do commissions. I know that I don't really advertise that, but I mean, I do. I'm an artist, graphic designer by trade. If you need anything, want anything, contact me through DMs, probably through Discord. Anyway, I think that's enough shilling for me today. My name is GamePenguin21. Ponies be crazy, man. And a peace. Off.